Yo, what is up, guys? Good morning. Happy Thanksgiving. Let's go. I got my fucking cup of coffee. Gonna get these games in here. Uh, yeah. So round four with the 59 card water pile. Versus Rescue Ace. We lost the die roll. Not good. Um, our hand here. Oh, there we go. So our hand was Droll, Imperm, Mizuchi, Minstrel, and 1 for 1. So we have a starter. Technically, it's a 1.5, so it's basically 2 cards for 1. Unfortunately, you cannot use Mizuchi, which unfortunately is another brick that we have opened. But we opened 2 hand traps. Droll's a very awkward hand trap versus Rescue Ace. Honestly, hand trapping Rescue Ace is very awkward. I really wish I could just have Impulse glued to my hand, honestly, man. Everything else just doesn't feel like nearly as strong. It feels like a completely different power level of a card. But yeah, so this was another one where, so like this game, I'm thinking, oh man, okay, well, I opened Minstrel, which you could debate is a brick or not. Maybe I wouldn't call it a brick, but I would maybe consider Minstrel more like an additional extender, to be honest, because it doesn't actually assist your plays at all. It just it's just like security. So opening not a not real water card, Mizuchi and Mizuchi in the hand is already not looking great. Already means half my hand isn't playable. And then I do have one starter, being 1 for 1, which is great. And then I have the 2 hand traps, which is also nice. You know, and depending on the card I draw, this is not a bad hand outside of Mizuchi. But so I would say I had one huge misplay here that at first I thought, oh, this game was just out of my control. No, no, I don't think so. I think this game actually could have gone my way. I think there's a moment during this game where we could just see his hand, and so the one thing we were kind of rushing out, but that's what am I saying? That's BS. I 100% misplayed. I think here. I think based on the hand I had, I did have to imperm the witch. My hope was, or no, what was happening was my brain was thinking, oh, he's gonna add OSS to hand, and then I'm gonna droll him, and then I'm gonna imperm his hydrant. Um, but which sets it? I just like completely blanked on that. So which sets the card, making droll super late, super bogus, and yeah, it would have been really nice. So in hindsight here, should have impermed the witch. 2020. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why you could say that it couldn't have mattered, because all he'd have to do is open airlifter, open hydrant, open not bonfire. Bonfire would not get him there. But there's a few other card combinations he could have opened to been fine here. But we'll continue on. So I don't imperm the witch. I definitely meant to.
Hi YouTube.
Oh yeah, what's up, man? So yeah, that's why I asked him. Oh, that's right, and like, oh, yikes, big mess up here. Yeah, and so what's funny is that okay, oh, his hand, it looked like it was preventer, prosperity, and then there's like that level 4 rescue ace that like tributes itself to summon one from deck. Impulse. It's actually called Impulse. Yeah, so I impermed the hydrant, which this was fine, but he has the prosperity man, and so the way I could have played this correctly was imperming the witch, and then then his only play is to go prosperity, and then it's let the dice roll, well, he'd get hit with droll, and so he'd have to have a pretty gnarly little combination set up to make it to the turbulence on field. But obviously the droll is too late here. He gets the emergency, and once you see emergency, you've already lost. So he's just doing his thing from here, setting up. He's making sure that he's a little knight to protect the turbulence. Setting his 4, and I don't remember what my top deck was. Teus. I seem to top deck Teus a lot. Teus likes my hand, dude. Teus likes to come help me. But yeah, so we kind of know this isn't enough. Excuse me. Another issue, and this is just a match to match, and this is my buddy. So it just so happens that playing against, it just so happens that the matchup against Rescue Ace is a very unfortunate match for us. Mainly due to these trap cards he has. So since our deck like relies around, the main one is I want to say it's Contain. It's like Contain, or they're both pretty bad. The two Rescue Ace traps, if he activates them with Hydrant on field, one of them negates a monster's effects, they can't attack, and they cannot be used for a Synchro Link Fusion or XC summon. So that card lives on board and it can't do anything. And then the other one is, I think that's Contain. And Extinguish destroys a monster, and then that monster cannot activate its effects for the rest of the turn. And so all he has to do really is just, activate the trap, pop the Prince, and then I can't use it for the rest of the turn. Even if I'm able to recycle it, I can do that with Dragoons. He can contain stuff, and it can be troubling for sure. And then just all the back row, there's nothing we can really do right now to like force out the traps early. And so that is tough. That is tough. This is not an easy matchup. So yeah, we'll get into game 2 here. So we open Shrine, Virtue Stream, double cross out, and thrust. Yeah, so hard brick here. Now I can't totally like blame the deck or anything here. There's a lot of reasons on why this could have gone either way. I put in the I actually really like it. I don't, especially in this size of a list, I really don't mind having thrust and cross out in there, because in case you don't have cross out but you have thrust and they droll you, or shit for you or whatever, you can just set DGG and you're just fine. And so you have either or. You either have the cross out or the thrust out, and then so you're just trying to skip. You're skipping their turn or you're negating their crazy ass hand trap. But yeah, so here I have absolutely nothing. You could say that maybe if I side different, I open more waters. But I think one thing to take note of is that, and this is here the Virtue Stream. It's a card that's in my deck, and I would technically count this as another brick I have opened. And so we could probably go back in all these matches and look at my hands, and it seemed like across the board I was opening a brick in every single hand. And so it could have just been a bad day. But I mean, you guys can definitely see how you guys can maybe see how my I may have I would get a little I would get frustrated throughout the day, just like how, because it is strange. You have so many consistency cards. Like, why am I not opening Impulse every game? Why am I opening Mizuchi and Gund and Armored Shark and the Deep Sea King? It's like I somehow managed to open one of them. I think one of them throughout the match. Like every round, I managed to open one of my handful of bricks that I play. And so it's just tough. And so yeah, I have nothing. The only other thing here is, I guess we can look at, is there is maybe a way to keep playing here. So real quick, he goes the Poplar line. I decided to wait until the Hydrant gets here. Really, I don't think it ever mattered. I knew, so he wanted for the Black Witch at the beginning of the turn. So I know he has 2 ways to get to OSS. I also know that, I did the Shrine draw just praying for like an Impulse or something. I know he can't Prosperity, so he can't get the draw. And so there's, I don't know, maybe that was correct. Maybe I should have Virtue Streamed. I didn't actually go back and see. Sorry for taking you guys all around like this because I wasn't paying attention. So yeah, he gets the Poplar, and then Poplar. And did he start with Prosperity? He did. okay, this is actually a misplay for me because I remember thinking about this. How I remember thinking, oh, if I pop the OSS and Poplar, then he can recycle. He can recycle back the OSS with Wanted to get a draw, and then Witch to get back the OSS and get the Hydrant. So I'm thinking, okay, so dealing with the Poplar and set will not do it for me. That is also a misplay. So I might criticize the deck at some points, but I'll also completely admit that well, hindsight 2020, looking back at these matches, I'm definitely seeing misplays. That I forgot about the prosperity, so I forgot that he couldn't draw. So if I had Virtue Stream there, I don't know how much further he goes. I don't know exactly what his hand is. He does have Witch, and he does have a Rescue Ace in his hand, plus Preventer, and Droll, and Veiler. So he could go like... so this is definitely good to take into account, seeing his hands here as well. So yeah, I mean, it looks like he would have had to go Black Witch, send Preventer to summon Witch. Probably actually just attack, and then he has Impulse in hand, and he has Droll and Veiler. So, yeah, I mean, he was not doing anything to me, which is it's a little frustrating. No, even with this hand, I was right there, and so I definitely need to keep this. I definitely need to work on my game sense here, and just pick up. Oh, I drew small for turn. Wasn't doing it. I definitely need to pick up on my game sense. I need to remember these things. Like, it's the same thing with like lingering effects. I need to remember when Dweller's going, when Dark Ruler happened, when they now I need to remember when they prosperity and how that might affect their game. Yeah, so definitely some misplays here on me for sure. I don't deny that whatsoever. But I also don't think the deck was very nice to me that day. So yeah, that is it. Final. Well, actually, we'll hold off on final thoughts. I do have two more matches with this deck that I recorded. You guys can even see on the table. We played some stuff last night. That was fun. Up super late. I'm not used to that. I'm an adult, and so I'm used to going to bed. I'm used to being in bed by like 9:30 p.m. And last night we were up until like 11:10 still playing. I'm like, I gotta get a meal in. I gotta shower. Gotta go get to bed. Everyone's asleep but me. This is not good. But it's holiday week, baby. I've been dying for this time off. I have they obviously Thanksgiving, and I have Friday off, and then I took next Wednesday to Friday off. So we're getting some vacay time, baby. It's very exciting. But yeah, so I think I'm just gonna hit up these other matches now. So let's just